Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is What's on Jones, and this is my 1000 Raw review. I haven't reviewed Raw in a long time, but I had to review this one because it was just so special. So, let's start off here. Got my notes here. Raw basically started off with Vince McMahon basically coming out and saying thank you to all the fans for helping them get to 1,000 episodes. So, after that, we get D-Generation X, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, DX, the original DX members. But then, after a while, Triple H says, well, didn't there used to be more of us? He says that, and then all of a sudden, you get the Road Dogg Jesse James and the badass Billy Gunn. And X-Pac, minus China, but I'm okay with that. We didn't really need to see her. But we do get those three guys, and they come in the ring. So you got the old school DX members. No, the old DX, back when DX were really cool. You get these guys, and they're all saying their catchphrases, basically, Road Dogg doing his thing. And then, after a while these guys are talking, Damian Sandow comes out. He comes out to the ring, and basically, he gets put on his ass, which is what I knew was going to happen. Shawn Michaels giving the sweet chin music. Triple H pedigrees him down to the ground. And that's how that segment basically ends. Pretty good segment. Good to see all those guys back with each other again. Next, we got a 6-man tag match. There was nothing big, nothing special really about this match. Nothing bad about this match. It was, your okay standard 6-man tag match. I can't remember everybody who was really in this match. I know you had Sheamus, Rey Mysterio, and Sin Cara, I believe. Yeah, right. Yeah, those three guys versus Chris Jericho and Dolph Ziggler and someone else. I can't remember who the other person is, but Sheamus, pins Chris Jericho, and that's how that match ends. So, it was an okay standard match. But moving on from there. Next, we get a segment between AJ Styles. Not AJ Styles. AJ. We get a segment from AJ, WWE Diva AJ, and we get her and Layla. Now, Layla had said in this segment that AJ was mentally unstable, which is what Kane had said a couple of months ago or a couple of weeks ago. She said that she was mentally unstable. And AJ come back and said that the whole WWE is mentally unstable. And she opened the door and she basically shows a couple of superstars, WWE superstars, basically acting mentally unstable. The biggest thing about this segment, or what should I say, probably the stupidest thing, was Mae Young's son, which was a hand, which was birthed from the Attitude Era. Now, if you didn't watch the Attitude Era, if you didn't watch this particular storyline, you probably thought this was stupid. But then again, it was stupid even if you did watch this particular storyline, because it was a hand that Mae Young had birthed about 10 years ago, or maybe 12 or 14 years ago. Now, the baby will be about like 14 years old by now. So it was stupid nonetheless. No, but hey, we're going to get at a pass. Or at least I am. Next, we got a squash match between Brodus Clay versus Jack Swagger. Squash match, that's exactly what it was. It was about 10 seconds. Brodus Clay pins him in 10 seconds, squashes the guy. But Dude Love, Mick Foley comes out as Dude Love. We haven't seen him as Dude Love in a long, long time. He comes out as Dude Love. These guys are basically doing their dances with each other. Next, we get the wedding segment, a segment that I knew that was going to end in a disaster. When I say disaster, I mean in a disaster for Daniel Bryan. Yeah, it was going to end in a disaster for Daniel Bryan. And, she had said, I do, once the preacher had asked, will you marry him? Yeah, she said, I do, but she said, I do, not to you, not to Daniel Bryan, as in to an offer that Vince McMahon had offered her to be the Raw GM, the general manager. AJ, WWE Diva AJ, is now the general manager. So, I didn't expect that. Like, that came out of nowhere. So we're going to see where they're going to go with this. AJ is a pretty entertaining character. She's entertaining. So we're probably going to get a lot of good entertainment with her being the general manager. And that, let's be honest, they needed somebody to be the general manager. So they went with AJ. But after that, had went in a disaster for Daniel Bryan. She had left, and then CM Punk comes out, and she is basically just making fun of him, for what had happened. He didn't get married. He was basically making fun of Daniel Bryan for not getting married. And then, Daniel Bryan was coming back saying things like he was the greatest WWE star of all time. And when he did that, The Rock came out, one of the true greatest superstars of all time, The Rock, the great one. He comes out and he tells Daniel Bryan, the only people who decides who's the greatest of all time are the fans. So that means me, you, the pro wrestling fans. Shortly after that, he gave Daniel Bryan a couple of insults. He brings his attention to the WWE champion, CM Punk, who's just sitting by in the ring. And I'm thinking just CM Punk just going to sit by and, let The Rock steal the show. But these guys did go back and forth. And he let CM Punk know that I am going to be challenging the WWE champion at the Royal Rumble. So whoever has the belt at the Royal Rumble, they will be facing The Rock for the title. So he lets him know that. It doesn't matter who has the belt, whether it be The Rock, well, not The Rock, whether it be Cena, Undertaker, whoever, it doesn't matter. Whoever has the belt, he's going to be challenging for that title. And that's basically how that segment ended. Next, we got a match between The Miz. A match between The Miz and Christian. No, it was an okay match. It was an okay standard match, but The Miz, a comeback Miz, he finally came back after doing the movie The Marine 3. He comes back and he wins the Intercontinental title. He's now the Intercontinental Champion. So The Miz has won a lot of titles. I think this is his first Intercontinental title. I'm not for sure. But I know he's been a WWE Champion, a Tag Team Champion, and a United States Champion. I think this is his first Intercontinental title. But if I'm wrong, somebody let me know. But he does have a belt. We'll see what they're going to do with The Miz, from here. Next, we got a segment between Triple H and Paul Heyman. Triple H has been trying to get a match with Brock Lesnar for like the last 2 months. At SummerSlam, Paul Heyman comes out, not Brock Lesnar, and he basically lets Triple H know that no, he will not be facing him at SummerSlam, so he declined the match. But Triple H continues to push for the match by, insulting, Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman come back and he says things and he mentioning Triple H's family, which is a no-no, and Triple H lets him know, hey, that's a no-no, and he attacks him. He hits the man. He hits the guy, puts him on his ass. After a while, Stephanie McMahon came out there, and she was going back and forth talking trash with him. And then guess what? Paul Heyman mentions her kids again, Triple H and Stephanie kids again, and this time she jumps him. And when she jumps him, Brock Lesnar, the Beast, finally comes out. He comes to the ring, gets in the ring. Him and Triple H are going at it. Brock Lesnar whooping his ass in the beginning, but then Triple H does that big comeback and then clotheslines him out of the ring. And, oh, by the way, Paul Heyman has said, that Brock Lesnar does accept this match. So he said he didn't, but after a few jabs, he has said, Brock Lesnar accepts the match. So we're going to get Brock Lesnar versus Triple H at SummerSlam. Next, we get a match between Heath Slater and Attitude Era Diva Lita. But a bunch of legends helped Lita win this match. It was all the legends who had basically whipped Heath Slater's ass and jobbed him out. And a couple more other wrestlers like Rikishi. Rikishi was there. Lita wins this match. Heath Slater loses to a girl. I guess there's nothing wrong with that. Moving on. Next, we get Kane and The Undertaker basically squashing every jobber in the WWE. That's what this was. Choke slamming them, tombstoning them. Every jobber in the WWE. Ginger Mahorn was the guy. He came out on the mic and said they haven't had any chances. Basically. And they was getting ready to jump Kane, like 6-on-1, but then The Undertaker comes out to everyone's surprise, or at least to my surprise, and then they beat the Brothers of Destruction and lay everybody out. Next, we finally got the match between CM Punk and Cena. CM Punk and Cena. This was a decent match, but you know, John Cena was the first guy to cash in his money in the bank and did not win the title. Oh, he won the match, but he won the match by disqualification. So, when you win the match by disqualification, we all know that means you don't win the title. Now, he got disqualified. He won by disqualification because the Big Show attacked him twice. He attacked him once when the referee wasn't looking, and then he comes back into the ring back when he had CM Punk in the STF or the STFU, whatever they call his move. And then, Big Show comes in and he attacks John Cena again, and this time the ref sees it and he gets disqualified. And during this match, after the match is over, Big Show is pounding on John Cena, and CM Punk is looking like, should I help him? Should I not help him? Should I walk away? Should I just, what should I do? No, he had that look on his face, like, nah, maybe I'll do something, maybe I won't. But The Rock comes out, the great one. Surprise, The Rock actually comes out and he's jumping on the Big Show and he's helping John Cena? Gotta waste my eyebrow on that one, Rock. That was a head scratcher. You're helping John Cena. You're helping that guy. What do you call them? The Fruit Loop Troop, something like that. The Fruity Pebble. So I thought that was weird. But as he was getting ready to do the people's elbow on the Big Show, he bounces off the rope and then CM Punk clotheslines The Rock. That's another head scratcher. It looks like to me that they're aiming towards a CM Punk and CM Punk and the Big Show versus John Cena and The Rock at SummerSlam. That's just what it looks like to me. That's just how I'm feeling and how I'm thinking. They're probably not going to do that, but that's just what it looks like to me. But I'm pretty sure The Rock is going to let CM Punk get away with that shit. Let's be honest here. But that is my review of the 1000 Raw. It was a decent show. It was a pretty entertaining show. Pretty entertaining show with a couple of quirky things on there. But at the same time, a lot of good things on there. So, this was on Jones. I'm out. Deuces.